الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدى هدى المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. I don't have to come before you people today to tell you about the importance of being fair and just in this religion. That the Muslim, from the mawasafat that the Muslim has, there are many. He's a person who appreciates a tahara. He's pure. He's not a dirty bum walking around, doesn't take care of his hygiene, how he looks, his madhab, his kalam, how he is. The Muslim is clean. Many characteristics that the Muslim has. But the one about justice is an important one. Being fair and being just. It is something that Allah Azza wa Jal has made the taklif on us. Everybody has to be fair and just. And it's difficult for the one who doesn't hold on to his religion. He just wants to do what he wants to do. Allah Ta'ala described this religion and He said about it, وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ عَدْلًا وَصِدْقًا صِدْقًا وَعَدْلًا لَا مُبَدِّلَ لِكَلِمَاتِهِ. The words of Allah, His religion, the ahkam of Islam, the do's and don'ts of Islam, they have been completed in truthfulness and justice. So what He told us to do is truth. What happened in the past, truth. What's going to happen in the future, truth. You have to have yaqeen about that. And it's also with adl. When He told you don't do this, don't do that, be this way, it's justice. The man in the first row, he came home from home, he got in the first row. You can't come here and tell him to get up and get out of the first row. It's not fair, it's not just. That's just one of the easy examples. The whole religion is completed with truthfulness and justice. And Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsan. Allah orders everyone to be fair and just. And He orders you to have ihsan, to do good by people and to be good with people. The people received the Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He told them, Umirtu bi'a'dala bainakum. I have been ordered to judge between all of you with justice. Abu Bakr is my best friend. Umar, Uthman, Ali are from the Quraysh. But if someone is from Habasha and he comes and one of them oppressed him, I'm going to judge in his haqq. I'm not going to look at the fact that he's from Quraysh and I'm from Quraysh and he's my brother. I'm not going to look at that. Not at all. I've been ordered to be just between all of you. So that's our responsibility in this deen. And Allah yuhibbul muqsitin. Allah loves those who are just. In an authentic hadith, the Prophet mentioned sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning the issue of justice. Thalathun munjiyat. 3 things will save you as you live in this dunya. And one of those 3 things he said, al-adlu, fi-rida wal-ghadab, that you are just when you're happy and you're just when you're angry. Being fair and just when you're happy is easy because the haqq is on your side. So it's easy. But what about when you're angry, when you're upset? Something was said that went against your madhab. Something was said that went against your ajdad. Something was said that went against your fikr, your ara. You get mad, you get crazy. What his wife is telling him is the truth, is justice. What the non-Muslim is telling him is just. What the Zaba'in are telling him, he's the customer. You're lying. You're cheating him. When he comes to you and he tells you what's going on, it's justice, so you get angry. You don't want to be fair. 3 things will save you. And one of them is being fair and just. When you're happy, when you're pleased, and when you're angry as well. So justice in this religion. Based on that, I'm going to say from this minbar right here that from justice, I perceive that Western civilization, what Europeans have given civilization, what America has given civilization, I believe they gave a lot to people today. That these people have helped the level of how we're living, and they made it better in many ways. That's not to say that they're perfect. That's not to say that. Understand what I'm saying. What these people have done in the way of the advancements in medicine, technology, all of those issues, it has helped to make our lives easier living here. We have 2 extremes. We have one extreme of Muslims who look at the nizam of the kuffar of Europe, white people, America. They look at that and they say, wow, ilahum yu'bad min dunillah. They're gods. Everything white is right. We have people like that. And then we have the other extreme. When we look at the injustices around the world, especially how they deal with the Muslims in Palestine, in Iraq and Syria, how they cause disruption in our lives, Islamophobia, we look at that and that's there. There's justice, say that's there. You're a kadhab if you're saying that's not there. It's there. So the Muslim sees that and he says, La khayra fihim. And that's not true. Because even the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said a lot of positive things about Romans, who these Europeans come from. Now is not that discussion. The point is, we have to be balanced. Al-adl. We have to have i'tidal. You have to be fair. The scale has to be like this. So there are things that we enjoy here in Europe that we take it for granted where we come from, in the Muslim world, in Africa, in the so-called third world countries. These things that we take for granted here, they can't be found in the Muslim world. And it's a problem. It's a problem. From those things, I just give you an example. When Corona started, in India, 2nd largest population known to man after the Chinese. There are more PhD holders in India than anywhere else in the world. Granted, they have a large population, but overall, they're educated people. They have a lot of people, PhDs. But when Corona came, they didn't have oxygen to give to their people. We didn't have that problem in the UK. We didn't have that problem. Those of us who are doctors in the medical field, those of you who are married, you have wives, when your wife is pregnant, and you take her to the hospital, she go to the hospital, there are normal procedures that they go through that they can detect problems with the birth before it even happens. And then they administer medicine and do certain things to save the problem, bi'idhnillah. In the Muslim world, these services are not even there. In the third world country, simple things that can stop polio and things like that, we don't have access to it. And that's a fact. The only people who get this type of treatment and khidmah are people who have a lot of money. A lot of money. Because the question come is not in their vocabulary, they pay. But just the regular people, something simple, and your child will come out dead. But here, Wallahi, the life here, compared to where we come from, they have given a lot to civilization. Wallahi, there's mayam buggy. We should not have any mujadala in that issue. You have to be balanced. One of the things I can tell you about is the system in terms of the hukum they have in front of their courts. Even here in Leeds, all over, in front of the courthouse, they always have a lady. They describe justice as being a lady. Why, I don't know. That's their way. Hurricanes, tornadoes, they give it the name of a lady. But in these dawa'ir of the places for the hukum and qada, you'll see a lady statue there. She'll have a blindfold on, and she'll have the mizan in her hand, showing justice is blind. So when you come in through these gates, we don't care if you're Arab, if you're Muslim, black, white, rich. We're going to judge you based upon the facts. That's not always the reality, but in theory, that's the reality. And I can speak about the UK. When I came to this country, I got a visa to work, give dawah, 2 years. I gave dawah for 2 years, and in those 2 years, I gave dawah to what I believe. The tawheed of Allah, first and foremost. Allah is the only one who has the right to legislate. And the religion that is pleasing to him is Islam, nothing else. As a result of that, I got to talk about other things. From what I talked about was LGBT homosexuality. It's not acceptable in our deen. I'm not going to harm you. If you're gay, transvestite, I'm not going to harm you. But if you ask me on TV, I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm not going to be politically correct. I won't be rough and tough. But I'll say, this is an abomination for a man to be on top of another man. Abomination. Who does that? Astaghfirullah, just from what we're thinking about. Like a man being with a child, someone molesting a child. It's an abomination, a man being with an animal, kissing a dog. So in those 2 years of dawah, my thoughts came out. As a result of that, after 2 years, they said, okay, I want to stay, indefinite remain to leave. They said, no, you are mutshaddid. You're irhabi. You have to go. You have to leave. I said, I'm irhabi. What do you mean irhabi? I'm against that stuff. I'm against Qa'id and all these people. And you hear from what I talked about, I'm against that. But they didn't like the fact that I called them out. I called them out on their tanaqidat. It's supposed to be democracy, it's supposed to be fair, but you have Islamophobia. You guys are not fair with the Palestinian issue. You guys are not fair with Iraq, and they don't like that. So anyway, to make a long story short, I appealed that decision. Our issue went to a Jewish judge. A Jewish judge. Didn't Allah say about them, وَلَن تَرْضَ عَنْكَ الْيَهُودَ وَلَن النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُم? Didn't Allah say in the Quran? The Jewish judge looked at the situation, heard the situation, and she judged. You're not an irhabi. You're not mutashaddid. You have the right to believe what you believe, and I haven't seen that you went against anything. You have indefinite remain to leave. I came and gave a khutbah to our community to say, you have to be balanced back then. Yes, Allah said that the Yahud and the Nasara will never become happy with you until you follow their religion, but that doesn't mean everybody is against you. Doesn't mean that. My mother's not against anyone here. Another example, in those 2 years, when I first came here 20 years ago, Channel 4 did a program called Dispatches. It's on the internet, Dispatches. Some guy came to me with a hidden camera, asking me about did I study in Medina. I said, yeah, I study in Medina. He said he wanted to go to Medina. I said it'd be a good idea. He was showing, he was like, it's Dispatches. He was just asking me, how do you go to Medina? That was it. And then they took my lessons, my durus, in which I talked about different things, like jihad, like homosexuality, like the nuqsan of the woman. I talked about those things in 2 years. Dispatches took that, took my words, chopped them up. They made the hafz of the kalam that came before and the kalam that came after. And they put that on the TV. 1 hour program, the African American Muslim from America, the other, the enemy. I was featured for half of the program. The West Midlands police got involved. They looked at it. They looked at my words in the context. They said to Channel 4, you did wrong. You took his words out of context. That's the adl of Ahlul Kitab. Allah said in the Quran, وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ مَنْ تَأْمَنْهُ بِقِنْطَارٍ يُؤَدِّيهِ إِلَيْكَ. From Ahlul Kitab, some people, if you leave him with a whole treasure, when you come back to get it, he's going to give it back to you, just how you gave it to him. And there's some Muslims, if he works for you, and you go for Hajj or Umrah to worship Allah, you want to bring your relationship with your wife together, you go to Hajj or Umrah, and you say, Abdullah, take care of my place while I come back. When you gone, he's just robbing you blind. And he's from Islam. But from Ahlul Kitab, those people, if you leave them with an amana, they take care of it. That's the idol of Islam. That's Allah telling us the reality. There are people like that from those people. So I want to say to you here, Ummah al-Islam, justice is important. And from justice is to make the i'tiraf. Why are you here? Why are we here? We're here because we came from certain countries in the Middle East that have money and they have technology. But here is the yambur, here is the source of that. So we come here to become with the ahilin here. We don't stay in our countries. Some of us come to this country escaping war and poverty and fawda in our countries. I'm talking about fawda. Listen to the justice of the Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He tells his people, as you all know, وَيْمُ لَوْ أَنَّ فَاطِمَةَ بِنْتَ مُحَمَّدٍ سَرِقَتْ لَقَطَعْتُ يَدَهَا. If my daughter Fatima were to steal something, I will cut her hand off. And cutting the hand off is khizyun for the person who made an i'tidah. He took someone's money and he took a lot. Yes, that's shiddah in our religion. And we don't apologize. You should have never took his money. Should have never stole it. I'm going to apologize if you're the thief, you're the mujrim. Now, Islam said do this to him and we have to apologize? If you wouldn't have started anything, there wouldn't have been anything. He said, if my daughter, and you can imagine those of you who have daughters, the love of a father to his daughter is not the love that he has to his sons, no matter what the situation is. But he still has to have an adab. If my daughter Fatima stole, I'll chop her hand off. Because the Prophet didn't have that stuff. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the differences between the people. So in this masjid, if a person is known to give sadaqah, if something happens, we let him slide. If another person is not known for sadaqah, he does something, we say don't come back to the masjid. And this is one of the reasons, Ikhwani, I don't allow in this masjid for the janazah, the salat of the ghaib. Salat for the janazah of someone who died in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Qatar. For an example, in Morocco, where you come from, in Libya, where you come from, no problem. I believe you can make salat for the one who's over there. You can do that. Rasulullah did it. But the problem is, what about the Sheikh Mamadou Aliyu in Gambia? He's from Banjul in Gambia, or from Kumasi in Ghana. He built 5 madaris, and he hafadha. He caused 100, 200, 500 students in Ghana to memorize the Quran. When he dies, no janazah, no salatul ghaib for him. But if he comes from Saudi Arabia, he comes from Kuwait, he comes from where you come from, you want me to come and make the salah? No, we're not going to make salah for him. Not because it's not mashru', but because if we open the door for him, we should open the door for everybody. And if we open the door for everybody, everybody knows someone who died during the course of the week. So we'll do salatul ghaib every day. So I just say, shut the door, none of that. I've been in communities that get mad at you when they come and say, do salat al-ghaib of my uncle, my father, he died. Yeah, we'll make rahmah. Do dua for him. Well, we make dua, but as the Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-Muslimun tatakafu dima'uhum. The Muslims, your blood is equal. Nobody's blood here is more important than somebody else. I don't care how much money you have in your pocket or your bank. How much you have. What's your lineage? No one's blood here is more important than the next man's blood. The man's blood is not more important than the woman's blood. So that's the justice of Islam. So from the justice, I want to say, these non-Muslims, they have a lot that has benefited us. So with that being the case, we have to act a certain way. Now, although that's the case, I don't want anybody to misunderstand me, be in the middle, al-i'tidal. Is this system in this nizam, is it an ilah yu'badu min dunillah? It's God, democracy. I tell you that democracy is one, and it's against what Allah revealed in the Kitab and the Sunnah. It has its mahasin, it has some good things, but it's not being practiced anywhere in the world the way they give it nazariyan. It's kadhib. And you have the Muslim doubting al-Islam and making ta'zeem to this. But what I wanted to say concerning this is, although these people have a nur of a taqaddum as a result of technology and these good things that they have given us. Wallahi, I look in the audience, and in our audience we have different doctors. Every medical doctor can appreciate what I'm saying. The benefit of technology and the instruments to be able to see what's wrong with people. IT, I mean, we all benefit from this stuff, all of us. You're an eye doctor? I went to the eye doctor just for a regular checkup. The lady told me, you have to hurry up and get to the hospital. You have a detached retina. I didn't even know that. I could have just kept walking around. Next thing I know, I'm blind. Samahallah, samahallah. Now, although I make this i'tiraf, I want to say to you, loud and clear, although this system has benefit, when it comes to the religion, when it comes to the religion of Europeans, Americans, this European culture, these Christians and these Jews, then now the intellect goes out the window. The intellect goes out the window. There's no technology. There's no aql. There's no zakat. It goes out the window because of their religion. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense by the Lord of the Kaaba. And I don't say that to make istisghar of them and ihana of them. I don't say that like that. It's a reality. Standing before you is a person who was raised up in Christianity. And it never made sense. Not then and not now. They used to take us to church and pass khamr, wine to all of us. We would drink wine. 8 years old, 7 years old. My brothers and sisters sitting there with my mother, my father, and they would give us wine. And then everybody would take the wine and the cracker. We eat the cracker, and then we drink the wine. Hey, ma, ummi, what is the wine about? It's the blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus, isn't that cannibalism? Why do I want to drink somebody's blood for? Well, it's symbolic, it's the rums. If you drink this blood, you'll go to Jannah. What kind of religion? What is that? Where does that come from? And the whole religion is like that. That's not to say that it doesn't have any khayr, and I'm getting to a point. How is it that the most important aspect of your religion is the tadlif, the Trinity? How is it that it doesn't make sense and it's the most important aspect of your religion? I'm going to help you understand what the Trinity is so that you'll know. The Trinity, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. This is the bedrock of Christianity, what we believed in. How do I understand it? I hope you understand it. 3 is 1 and 1 is 3. Explain it. Okay, it's like water that comes out of my surah. It's water. Water is a liquid. It's sa'il. And water, if you put it in the thallaja, it becomes ice. And if you boil it, it becomes steam. You see, 3 is 1, 1 is 3. What? وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثْلُ الْأَعْلَى. That doesn't make sense. But that was the religion. Outside the window. Throw it outside the window. The Yahud, same situation. The Yahud can go to Palestine and take the land of the Palestinians that their ajdad have ownership of and say that Allah, He promised us this land. So you have to get off. If you fight, we're going to kill you. And the world supports that. So when we come and we say, okay, when Hitler killed 5 million of you people, wasn't that okay? No, that's not all right. That's okay, but that's not. That's the religion. It doesn't make sense. So what's the shahid? The shahid is Allah sent us a religion. What's the difference between us and them? If we don't know our religion and we grow up and allow our children to grow up, I, the father, Abu Usamah, my religion is hocus pocus. My religion is khurafat. My religion is ghulu, going overboard. My religion is worship of Allah. I'm jahil. I don't know what I'm doing. And my kids grow up like that. My son's name is Usamah and Muawiyah and Abdullah and Abdurrahman. But those are their names. But when I ask them, look, explain your religion, they don't know. Because I never taught them. I don't know. They don't know. Yes, I have the religion of Islam, it's the haqq. But those Jews and the Christians, they say the same thing. So as I mentioned here before, the ayat of the Quran, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. There are those people, they worship Allah, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know. And now, in a few more days, one of the biggest ihtifalat of the Islamic Ummah is going to come. And that's the ihtifal of the birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أقول لكم بكل صراحة تعبت تعبا شديدا. I've been here for 20 years. Every time I get on the minbar before the Mawlid, al-Sharif, Za'amu, every time I talk about the Mawlid, after the khutbah, no one ever comes to have a niqash, the one who believes it, the one who wants to help me to believe it. I'm a revert to this religion. I don't believe in the Mawlid. It's khurafat. It's not from the religion. The Yahud and the Nasara, they made up stuff about their religion. It's not from the religion. I used to be really serious about trying to get the message across that the Mawlid is not true. Now I'm tired. Because I know it has Allah mentioned in the Quran about people. He mentioned that about the Quran. وَلَئِنْ أَتَيْتَهُمْ بِكُلِّ آيَةٍ مَا تَبِعُوا مِلَّتَكَ. If you bring the Yahud and the Nasara, every ayat, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to follow your way, your qibla. They're not going to follow your qibla. It ain't going to ever happen. It's the same. And what is that same? So now as Muslims, I'm here to say, I don't want to disrespect anybody. I'm going to say to the Ummah of Islam, and I think the vast majority of the people who come to this masjid, they don't believe in this stuff. But we have new Muslims here who I know their condition. And we have Muslims here who are suffering as a result of, he doesn't believe in the Mawlid, and his family does, so he has problems. The Mawlid in Al-Islam, Ikhwani, Prophet Muhammad never brought it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You won't find any dalil for it. He died. The Khulafa al-Rashidin, none of them ever did it. Not a single companion ever did it. And those imams that we say we love, we honor, and we respect, not a single one of them. You are not going to find a fatwa from Imam Malik, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmed. You won't even find a fatwa or any kalam. Is the Mawlid permissible, not permissible? You won't even find a fatwa. Why? Because it wasn't present when they were here. You won't even find it. So the message here today is, don't be one of those people who practice this religion and you don't know what you're doing. It's just the religion of your ajdad, or it's the religion of what people are saying, but worship Allah with knowledge. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. Alhamdulillah, hamdan kathiran wa tayyiban mubarakan fihi. Ikhwani, I don't intend to be disrespectful to anybody, but I'm going to say this, and I say it for free. Wallahi billahi tallahi, in front of all of you. Wa kafa billahi shahida. Wallahi, it's not a tahaddi that's rough and tough. I will give anybody here £1,000 today, cash money. If you believe that Mawlid is true, I want to do it if it's from the religion. Wallahi, I want to do what the Prophet said to do. And what's from this religion? Just bring that dalil. Just bring that proof so we can do it. As for me being a revert and Muslims telling me this from the religion, I remember very quickly I wanted to stop before 2, but I got to tell you this. I went into a group of Muslims who come from East Africa, and they were making dhikr, and I was there with my cousin who was a new Muslim. I was very young, a new Muslim, 22 years old, and they were making dhikr. And then they all stood up at a point, me and my cousin looking at them. We don't know what they're saying. And they started saying, get up, stand up, get up. And they were rough and tough. My cousin stood up out of fear. I said, I'm not standing up. What is this about? My cousin asked the guy, stand up. Why? Why are we standing up? The guy said, Rasulullah just came through the door. My cousin sat down. He told me the issue. I said, what? They said Rasulullah came through the door when they made that dhikr. I said, come on, man, let's get out of here. If these people are seeing Rasulullah come through the door, we're in danger. Rasulullah came through the door and we got out of there. They were mad at us. They were upset with us. Wahhabi. I'm a Wahhabi. I didn't even know anything about Wahhabi. Don't let that be your religion. The religion of the Yahud and the Nasara. May Allah Azza wa Jalla establish us firmly upon the Kitab and the Sunnah according to the fahm of the Salaf of this Ummah, Abu Bakr, Uthman and Ali and the rest of them, radiyallahu anhum. And may He help this Ummah to be an Ummah that understands the religion and we practice it the way that Nabi of Islam intended it to be practiced. Aqim as-salat yarhamukum.
Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم